Our planet, a sphere of blue and green suspended in the vastness of space, is a treasure trove of life. In its every corner, from the deepest oceans to the highest mountains, evolution has sculpted creatures of breathtaking variety and ingenuity. While many are familiar to us, countless others remain shrouded in mystery, their lives playing out in ways that, honestly, just defy our imagination. Today, we embark on a journey together, a quiet exploration to meet 5 of our world's most unusual and fascinating inhabitants. Each of these animals possesses a unique story, a testament to the endless creativity of the natural world. Our journey begins in the cool, dark waters of a few specific lakes near Mexico City, the last remaining vestiges of a vast water system that once sustained the Aztec civilization. Here, in the quiet solitude of Lake Xochimilco and its canals, lives a creature that seems to have forgotten how to grow up. This is the axolotl. With its feathery external gills, lidless eyes, and a seemingly permanent gentle smile, it is a creature of perpetual youth. The axolotl is what is known as a neotenic salamander, meaning it reaches adulthood without undergoing metamorphosis. Unlike its relatives, which typically transform into land-dwelling adults, the axolotl retains its juvenile aquatic features for its entire life. But perhaps the most astonishing trait of this gentle creature is its almost miraculous ability to regenerate. If an axolotl loses a limb, it can regrow it perfectly, without any scarring. It doesn't stop there. It can regenerate parts of its spinal cord, its jaw, and even portions of its brain. This remarkable healing power is a subject of intense scientific study, holding potential secrets that could one day revolutionize human medicine. Observing them in their habitat, one sees a life of slow, deliberate movements. They are not swift predators. They are patient opportunists, waiting for a small mollusk, worm, or insect larva to drift by. Tragically, the story of the axolotl in the wild is one of critical decline. The very same waters that have cradled this species for millennia are now threatened by pollution and urban expansion from the sprawling metropolis of Mexico City. We now leave the freshwater lakes of Mexico and travel far to the north, to the frigid, ice-choked waters of the Arctic Ocean. In this stark and unforgiving wilderness of white and blue lives a creature of myth and legend. It is the narwhal, a medium-sized whale that has fascinated humanity for centuries, often called the unicorn of the sea. This title comes from the male's most defining feature, a single, long, spiraling tusk that can grow up to 3 meters in length. This extraordinary tusk is, in fact, an elongated canine tooth that pierces the left side of the upper lip and grows in a counterclockwise helix. Today we know it is not a weapon for jousting with rivals, as was once thought, but a highly complex sensory organ. The tusk is porous and contains millions of nerve endings, connecting the narwhal directly to its ocean environment. Narwhals are also phenomenal divers, among the deepest diving mammals on the planet. They can plunge to depths of over 1,500 meters, where the pressure is immense and the light is non-existent. Down in these crushing depths, they hunt for their preferred food, Greenland halibut, cod, and squid. They spend a remarkable portion of their lives in the dark, relying on echolocation to paint a picture of their surroundings and pinpoint their next meal. These are highly social animals, often traveling in groups or pods of 10 to 100 individuals. They communicate with a complex array of clicks, whistles, and pulsed sounds, their calls echoing through the underwater canyons. However, life in the Arctic is changing at an alarming rate. Climate change is causing the sea ice, which is central to the narwhal's existence, to melt and become less predictable. This not only alters their migratory routes and access to food, but also opens up these once remote areas to increased shipping traffic and industrial noise. From the icy Arctic, our journey takes us to the vast open grasslands of Central Asia. This is the Eurasian steppe, a seemingly endless sea of grass that stretches from horizon to horizon, a land of harsh extremes with scorching summers and brutally cold winters. It is here that we find one of the most peculiar-looking and resilient mammals on Earth, the saiga antelope. At first glance, its most striking feature is its nose. The saiga possesses a large, fleshy and bulbous proboscis that hangs down over its mouth, resembling the trunk of an elephant in miniature. This strange-looking nose is a remarkable adaptation to its environment. During the dusty summer months, the complex internal structure helps to filter out airborne dust kicked up by the migrating herds. In the freezing winter, it serves to warm the frigid air before it reaches the animal's lungs. These animals are true nomads, forever on the move in search of fresh pasture. They undertake some of the most extensive long-distance migrations of any land mammal, covering thousands of kilometers each year in vast herds. During the calving season, females gather in enormous congregations to give birth, often in near synchrony. A female typically gives birth to twins, and for a few days the plains are covered with newborn calves. However, this unique antelope has faced pressures that would have driven most species to extinction. It is a living fossil, having roamed the earth alongside woolly mammoths and saber-toothed cats. It survived the last ice age, but it has been brought to the brink by modern threats. In the 1990s, following the collapse of the Soviet Union, rampant poaching for their horns and meat caused their populations to crash by over 95%. Miraculously, through concerted efforts by governments and conservation organizations, the species began to make a tentative comeback. But in 2015, disaster struck again. We now travel south to the temperate coastal waters off the southern and western coasts of Australia. Here, swaying gently in the ocean currents, are forests of kelp and seagrass. Within this dense underwater jungle lives a master of disguise, a creature so perfectly camouflaged that it can be almost impossible to spot even when it is right in front of you. This is the leafy sea dragon. These elaborate lobes are not used for propulsion. They are purely for camouflage. The leafy sea dragon is a living, breathing piece of its environment, a ghost of the kelp forest, and another on its back, closer to the tail. It is a patient hunter. Lacking teeth and a stomach, the leafy sea dragon must feed almost constantly on a diet of tiny crustaceans, such as mysid shrimp and sea lice. Like their seahorse cousins, the leafy sea dragons have a fascinating reproductive strategy where it is the male who cares for the young. During mating, the female deposits her bright pink eggs onto a special brood patch on the underside of the male's tail. The leafy sea dragon's existence is a fragile one, deeply connected to the health of its kelp forest habitat. These underwater ecosystems are vulnerable to pollution, rising sea temperatures, and storm damage. For our final destination, we travel to the heart of Africa, to the vast, dense, freshwater swamps and wetlands of countries like Sudan, Uganda, and Zambia. Wading silently through the shallow, papyrus-choked waters is a bird that looks as if it has flown directly out of the prehistoric past. This is the shoebill, a tall, gray, solitary bird whose most defining feature is its enormous shoe-shaped bill. This bill is a formidable tool. It is huge, the third longest bill among all birds, and ends in a sharp, curved hook. When the moment is right, the attack is sudden, violent, and explosive. The bird lunges forward in a motion called a collapse, its massive bill striking the water with incredible force. Shoebills are profoundly solitary creatures. They are highly territorial and prefer to hunt alone, often with several hundred meters separating one bird from the next. Its appearance is undeniably primeval. With its slow, deliberate movements, its slate-gray plumage, and that incredible bill, it is easy to imagine its ancestors hunting in the swamps alongside dinosaurs. Like many specialists, the shoebill is vulnerable to changes in its specific habitat. The draining of swamps for agriculture, disturbances from cattle grazing, and the threat of capture for the illegal bird trade have all contributed to its declining numbers. From the regenerating axolotl in its threatened lake to the patient shoebill in its ancient swamp, we have witnessed but a fraction of the planet's incredible biodiversity. Each animal is a masterpiece of evolution, a unique solution to the challenges of survival. The narwhal's sensory tusk, the saiga's filtering nose, and the sea dragon's perfect camouflage are not mere curiosities. Their stories also carry a solemn warning. Many of these extraordinary animals are living on the edge, their existence threatened by a rapidly changing world. Protecting them means protecting the delicate ecosystems they inhabit. The icy seas, the vast plains, the kelp forests, and the quiet wetlands that share our planet. The world is full of such wonders, many still waiting to be discovered. The more we look, the more we find, and the more we understand the intricate connections that bind all life together. Which animal surprised you most? Comment below and subscribe for more.